Archaeologists have one of the most interesting jobs in the world. Many times have they been excavating a site and discovered something unexpected, leading on to further discoveries that give us an insight into our past. Human history is sketchy at best, and although researchers have done a great job at understanding some of our history, the large majority of it has been lost, leaving us to fill in the gaps. A team of archaeologists were exploring an area in Mexico called Anavas when they discovered an ancient cemetery. Inside this cemetery were the remains of strange humans. They were labelled this as the heads of the humans were extremely elongated, something that has been seen in various locations across our planet. The practice of elongating the skull wasn't uncommon during this time. Not only this, but several of these had mutilated teeth. Cristina Garcia Moreno, an archaeologist at Arizona State University, said the following: "Cranial deformation has been used by different societies in the world as a ritual practice, or for distinction of status within a group, or to distinguish between social groups. The reason why these individuals at El Cementerio deform their skulls is still unknown. The most common comment I read from people that see the pictures of cranial deformation has been that they think these people are aliens. I could say that some say that as a joke, but the interesting thing is that some do think so. Obviously we're talking about human beings, not aliens." End quote. The scientific community have said these elongated skulls are due to force being applied, and not because they're aliens in nature as some have suggested. But these comments have received criticism by some who have studied the unknown. Some researchers have put forward the idea that the reason these skulls were made to look like this is because of ancient encounters. These encounters were said to have been with otherworldly life. For years, various civilizations have talked about gods coming from the sky in magnificent creations, and this has in turn caused some to think that the gods they were talking about was actually extraterrestrial life. The scientific world and skeptics of course don't believe this theory, and states that it's near impossible that a race would travel vast distances across the universe just to see us. This argument is an interesting one as we are so young in regards to developments ourselves. Although we've achieved a lot within the last 100 years, there's still many things we don't understand about the universe. It's why some researchers have said that religion and paranormal beliefs make sense, because at this moment in time they can't fill in these gaps. Regardless, those who research the unknown have said that many ancient artifacts are littered across our planet, and some of these don't fit in with history. One interesting artifact is that of the Star Child skull, an artifact that has perhaps caused more divide than any other within the UFO community. The Star Child skull was a supposed extraterrestrial skull that was recovered back in 1999, when Lloyd Pye claimed to have come into contact with a young couple from El Paso, Texas in February of that year, of whom were in possession of the extraterrestrial skull. Despite Lloyd receiving and becoming aware of the skull back in 1999, the skull itself did not come into the world of relevancy until late 2003, and these were for reasons not specified. According to the young couple of which Lloyd Pye received the extraterrestrial skull from, the skull itself was claimed to have been uncovered back in 1930 from an old mine tunnel in Mexico. The skull was allegedly found next to a woman, but unfortunately this story cannot be confirmed, and the couple of whom supposedly provided the skull as evidence cannot be found for comment, a problem to which Lloyd claims is nothing more than the couples wanting to stay anonymous. The skull's sudden popularity in 2003 led to it quickly being the centre of attention. This was in the UFO community and for skeptics, of whom agreed to undergo DNA testing of the skull to uncover whether or not it was truly extraterrestrial. The DNA results came back proving not only that the skull was that of a human child, and that the entire stunt pulled was nothing more than a hoax, but that the skull was that of a child of whom had passed away from hydrocephalus, a rare birth defect in which a child experiences a large amount of cranial fluid pressure that causes the skull to bulge outwards, giving it an enlarged appearance. This led to not only the extraterrestrial community being made into a laughingstock, but any other further efforts into DNA testing for additional extraterrestrial claims to be blocked by the scientific establishments that perceive the endeavour as nothing more than a waste of time and resources. However, there is an interesting connection to be made, as well as the main argument for why the Star Child skull and its popularity was nothing more than a stunt, and this was to delegitimize the extraterrestrial community. At the same time that this Star Child skull began making headlines across the planet, a more legitimate discovery was taking place led by lead researchers involved in the promotion of the Disclosure Project, and this was spearheaded by Dr. Stephen Greer. Dr. Stephen Greer had made an incredible discovery that pertained to a strange recovered artifact that was described as being a small humanoid creature that had been mummified and buried in an old church. It was found and then spent time circling black market traders. It was later recovered by alien enthusiasts to undergo DNA testing to prove its legitimacy as an extraterrestrial entity. This strange mummified creature appeared to share many of the same distinct characteristics described in extraterrestrial sightings, with a large head, small mouth, large eyes and human-like body, but there was only one problem. When measured from the top of its skull to the bottom of its feet, it measured roughly 6 inches tall. In fact, the entire creature could approximately fit in the palm of your hand. Interestingly, there's been various other artifacts that have been discovered, which some say point to other life forms visiting this planet. Scientists and skeptics are not open to these ideas, but government officials have recently been open about the fact that UFOs have been videoed, and that they've even been able to track them. This has only thrown a spanner in the works, and it seems that time will tell whether they will release more videos. So what do you make of these ancient artifacts? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.